Hello and happy holidays to all my Flosstube neighbors. I am Chris and this is Xrossstitch, and today is Tuesday, December 14th, 2021, and this is Flosstube number 31. I'm so glad that you have taken time out of your day to join me. I enjoy this time with all of you so much. If you are a new viewer, welcome to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here, and I hope that you like what you see enough to subscribe and to like the video and to ring the bell so you can be notified when I post new videos and comments and what have you. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. You are the neighborhood of Xrossstitch. Each and every one of you. You are part of my extended family, and I'm so grateful to have you here with me today. We have had a huge amount of rain last night. We had a big rainstorm here in Southern California, actually this morning. So if you hear loud noises, it's possible that you are hearing the water falling off the trees from my house. So just bear that in mind if something interrupts us in midstream. But we always start each video here at Xrossstitch with naming Handstanding Cat. Handstanding Cat is the top of Tiki, Tree of 1,000 Faces, a piece of teak driftwood that is a home accent, decorative accent in our house right over there. And the top of it looks like a handstanding cat. So I took your suggestions. There were too many to choose from. I normally spin the wheel, but today I am not spinning the wheel because I wanted a very Christmassy name for handstanding cat, and I found one. My viewer Debbie B decided to name handstanding cat Snickle Fritz. And I chose that one today because Snickle Fritz sounds like an elf at the North Pole, and Fritz is also the name of the little boy in the famous ballet, The Nutcracker. Fritz is Clara's brother, who is very mischievous and breaks the Nutcracker at the beginning of the ballet. It's all is well with the Nutcracker, but Fritz does break it. So, Debbie, thank you so much for offering up Snickle Fritz. That is Handstanding Cat's name today. We are drawing ever closer to the end of the year, believe it or not. And with that will come the tally of all of the comments for Ted's Change Jar. Ted's Change Jar is a way that we are raising money for Dolly's Imagination Library, which is a charitable organization founded by Dolly Parton herself, in which children under the age of 5 are provided books until they reach the age of 5. Every comment made on this video and all the videos from the beginning of my channel are tallied up at the end of the year. 1 penny goes into the jar for each comment, and that total is a total that I am going to donate to Dolly's Imagination Library. Several of you are going to match that total with me. And we are taking donations on my Buy Me a Coffee link, which is in the show notes below. We are over $2,000, and I'm just so incredibly thrilled. $40 will provide one child books for a year. So imagine how many children are going to have books next year because of all of you. That donation will be made in the name of Ted, my viewer's father who inspired this, and in the name of all of you, the viewers of Xrossstitch. So please continue to comment. Please continue, if you feel so moved, to donate to the Buy Me a Coffee link below. And thank you so very much to all of you. No matter how you're assisting this endeavor, thank you incredibly so. I've been telling you the past few weeks about the wonderful folks over at Caterpillar Cross Stitch and their stitch along that is going to begin on January 21st of next year. That stitch along is called How Does Your Garden Grow? And it is a mystery stitch along. I have a 10% off code for that, for the complete kit with the needle minder. That code is Garden10Chris. So many of you have told me that you've already ordered it. And that's wonderful because my code is good through December 17th. So there's only a few more days to use that code. But the big news is the kit arrived. So I'm so excited about it. It's really great, you guys. This, it comes, of course, with all the floss. I chose the Ada. The Ada is there. And this adorable little gnome needle minder. So, of course, you get the entire kit and the instructions for the kit. What you do not have yet is the chart, because it is a mystery stitch along. So I'm excited to receive it, but the kit is already here. I'm thrilled to death about it. It's going to be an amazing chart because all of their designs are just as cute as they can be. And remember, if you want to use that Garden 10 Chris code on the kit and the needle minder option, that's what you have to be specific about. It's that whatever you choose that way. Use Garden 10 Chris until December 17th so that you can get this in time to stitch along with us. So it's going to be fun. I'm very excited, and it's finally here. Yay. So on to the cross stitching rather soon this week. It seems like in previous weeks I've had a lot more to talk about before we got to the cross stitching, but we're going to launch right into the cross stitching today because I have an FFO to show you. Yes, you heard that right. You heard that right. A fully finished object to show you. And I'm incredibly excited about this fully finished object because it was a conjunction of a lot of wonderful things. It was the conjunction of a wonderful chart by my dear friend Judy Whitman at JBW Designs. It was a conjunction of my dear friend Sarah at Sew Me Sarah, who provided a tutorial on hoop finishing, and a conjunction by my dear viewer Leslie Kay, who actually gifted me a whole bunch of these small cross stitch hoops for finishing. And I did English plum pudding. I got another ornament in, you guys, and I absolutely love it. Of course, I'm going to go in with a close-up picture. Let's talk about this for a second because this was a couple of firsts for me. 1/1 on linen, you guys. 1/1 on linen. And this was that slippery cocoa linen that I did Basket of Cherries on. Slippery in that it was really a loose open weave. In some ways that was good for doing this 1/1 because it was as clear to see the holes as it probably could be, considering it's so teeny tiny. And but it was bad in the sense that with any loose weave there wasn't a whole lot of structure, so you had to be very careful about the threads pulling the grain. But boy, isn't that just as cute as it can be. And I finished it myself. Another first, I did a hoop finish. Just simple felt backing. And I kept this one really simple. I didn't want to embellish it too much because Judy's designs are so incredibly wonderful. This is the first one of hers that I've done 3 others. This is the first one in which I did her trademark of the motifs buried in the overall design. And it's really quite fascinating to be stitching along, looking at the chart, not knowing what in the world that little motif is. And then you get it on the canvas and you look back and you go, oh, it's an ornament. Or, oh, that's a heart. Or, oh, that's a rooster or a peacock. I think there's actually a little bird down in this chart, you guys. It's a hidden rooster. Anyway, very simple finishing. Of course, I have my 2021 charm on there. I did a little bow on the top, but I just love it. I'm tickled to death because this will make my 5th ornament. You know, I told you I was going to try to do one every week. Well, I guess there have been 5 weeks since I said that, so I have kind of done one a week, but I haven't been consistent with it. But I'm really thrilled about having this ornament finished. So that's an FFO. English plum pudding in honor of my love for the Great British Bake Off or Great British Baking Show. English plum pudding to go on my tree. And speaking of ornament trees, this is a wonderful segue. I'm going to hang this back up and I'll be right back. Those of you who were around over the weekend may have been able to join me very briefly for a live stream that I did on Saturday afternoon. I was sitting stitching. I just got a wild urge to go live. I'm like, I wonder what would happen. I wonder what would occur. And I was incredibly pleased at the number of those of you who saw that I was on live and who came by to say hello. I had the best time doing it. And during that short live stream, and I'm going to do more. We're going to do more in 2022, and I'll give more notice, and I'm hopefully going to get a setup so that you can actually see me stitch. I only put 4 stitches in while I was doing that stitch along because I was so busy talking to all of you guys. And one of my dear viewers, Hirja, said, you're not stitching anything. So I put 4 stitches in for her. But we will be doing more of that. This is all driving to what I want to tell you about because I alluded to this and I teased it during that particular brief live stream on Saturday. In 2022, I'm going to do a new segment as part of the videos, and it's going to be called The Neighbor's Corner. I am incredibly steadfast in the belief that I want my channel to be interactive. I do believe you are a neighborhood. I do believe that we all support each other and encourage each other and are there to, and are able to be there for each other. So what better way than to feature some of you, the viewers. Now, here's the thing. I want to share projects that you may be very proud of, whether they're cross-stitching or even quilting, any other craft. Send me photos, tell me stories. This is a way that those of you who may not have a Flosstube channel or want to do a Flosstube channel can share with this community. In fact, I don't want any other Flosstubers. That we all have this amazing platform. This is for those of you who don't have the time or the inclination or the desire to do that, but still have something that you're incredibly proud of that you want to show to this collective neighborhood. I also don't want to promote anything that you're selling. I do promotions here, as you know. I'm very selective about that because my channel is not necessarily about that. I have to really believe in something or want to do it or love the company or the product to do it. So this is about what you're proud of. This is about what you want to expose the rest of the neighbors to because you want it to be seen and should be seen. So the Neighbor's Corner will be beginning in 2022, but to start it off, I have one this week to tell you about. And in this week, the very first Neighbor's Corner segment ever on Xrossstitch is from my dear viewer, Wendy. Wendy in Atlanta, Georgia. She's originally from Alabama, but she now lives in Atlanta, and she shared a video with me that is live on YouTube. I'm going to link the link in the show notes below. But she has created the most amazing Christmas tree that is composed completely of cross-stitch ornaments. So this tree is 12 feet tall. And the majority of these ornaments were stitched over a period of 11 years, which just, it boggles my mind. It's just, this thing is absolutely incredible. 11 years of stitching. And she mentioned to me that a few of these were purchased, but overwhelmingly, the majority of them were stitched by her own hand. She also has 50 to 100 stitched ornaments waiting to be FFO'd. So you can just imagine what this tree, she's going to need a 14-foot tree before it's over with. But I saw this and I was like, okay, not only did Wendy inspire me to create this segment, what a wonderful way to begin it and at this particular time of year. And this is something I aspire to have one day. Maybe not 12 feet tall, but she doesn't even know how many ornaments are on it. She's never counted, but there are quite a few. So please, if you are so inclined, after this video, or you can pause me and come back, it's fine. It's a 10-minute long video. It's fascinating to watch. Whimsical ornaments, traditional ornaments, colorful, monochromatic, modern, primitive. It's just fascinating, and you will enjoy every single minute of it. So thank you, Wendy. Thank you for sharing those with me. Thank you for inspiring the new Neighbors Corner segment going forward in 2022. And I hope all of you enjoy this, and leave a comment for Wendy on that video if you found it from my channel. I think she would be tickled to hear from each of you. So thank you, Wendy, and I hope you enjoyed the very first Neighbors Corner. And back to the cross stitching. As you know, I shake things up here. I don't do everything in blocks. I like to take you on a journey. So the next part of the journey is another finish. Yes, another finish. It's not a full finish. It's not a complete finish, but you guys, I did a page finish on Christmas Quaker. This was my focus piece this week. I stitched like a crazy person on it. I love it. I got into a groove and I finished the first page of Quaker Christmas. So proud. I mean, I guess I should have worked on other things, but you know, you just get into that groove and you want to keep going. And I saw the goal in sight. I saw the page finish in sight. And I went straight toward it. And of course, I was working on it alongside the little plum. I could only work on that plum pudding so long before my eyes crossed. But Quaker Christmas is by Bygone Stitches. It is part of a stitch along that's being hosted by my dear friend Annie, the proper stitcher, and Artie, the vintage stitcher. That's still so hard for me to say. The vintage stitcher. I need to say it with an accent every time I do it. That makes me slow down. The vintage stitcher. The vintage stitcher. They were sponsoring that stitch along. A lot of you were doing it. But I've gotten so much good feedback. You know, when I started out with this variegated thread, some people were like, you better be careful because you might lose the you know, et cetera, et cetera. But I kind of went boldly forward, and I'm incredibly glad I did. And overwhelmingly, I think people enjoy it. Someone's mentioned to me on Instagram that it looks like rock candy or peppermint candy, hard candy, the blend of the colors. And it absolutely does. And I'm so glad that it is evoking that. I love it. And I'm kind of jazzed to keep stitching on it. I'm going to definitely work on the Nutcracker over the Christmas holiday. But you're going to see some progress on this too next time, I'm sure. So Quaker Christmas, Bygone Stitches, page finish. It's time for story time with Chris. And today I don't really have a through line to a particular story of Christmas. There are many, but as I did with Halloween, I just wanted to bring up some things that to me remind me of Christmas, some traditions that we had or that I still think about associated with Christmas. The first one's controversial because it has to do with fruitcake. Now listen, I know that what I'm about to say, some of you are going to roll your eyes. But there is a thing called a Claxton fruitcake that comes in a rectangular cardboard box. And I love it. Yes, I've had actual baked, well, of course it's baked too, but I've had homemade amazing fruitcakes where, you know, they are shaped like an actual cake as opposed to a brick. And they, you know, are just, you know, they have liqueurs in them and all, you know, all the, it's very foo-foo. And I love those too. Don't get me wrong. They're amazing. But I knew when I saw that off-white and red cardboard box with a fruitcake inside that it was Christmas. And I know that's the silliest thing in the world, but I love it. There's no taste like a Claxton fruitcake. None whatsoever. I mean, I love it. It's good. It's not bad. Now, those of you who hate fruitcake, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You probably don't like it for a good reason, and that's fine. But Claxton fruitcake, man, and it is vaguely shaped like a brick. The other thing that seemed to only come out around the holidays was something my grandmother loved. And they were these candy drops. Well, she also loved the sugar stick candy. It's like candy cane, but it's, you know how candy canes, hard candy canes, you know, that you can chew on them and they're hard candy and they break apart and you can lick them and say whatever. But these were, she called it sugar stick candy because you'd bite into it, pepperminty, and it just fall apart in your mouth like cotton candy. It would just melt. She loved those. She also loved these chocolate mint. They weren't minty. They were creamy, but they looked like little gnome hats. That's the best way to describe them. But they were just dark chocolate covered sweet cream drops. And those were also a Christmas is coming, holidays are coming signifier. The other one, of course, was A Charlie Brown Christmas that I still watch to this day. Watched it over the weekend. Probably will watch it a couple more times before the actual holiday because I love it. And yes, I'm a 50-year-old man with a stuffed Snoopy. I love him. But that's another big deal. Choirs. I've been singing, and I was singing in a choir when I was knee-high to a grasshopper. My very first solo was when I was about 7 years old. And I don't remember, it was something at the church, but I don't remember the solo, but I remember the words, snowflakes falling on the ground, the fireplace burning bright, reminds me of the night the world was filled with light, maybe. That was the extent of my solo. Mm-hmm. And that's all I remember. Don't remember the tune. It was just a little 7-year-old me standing in front of the pews with this squeaky little high voice, you know. Anyway, Rankin and Bass, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, all these things that put us in the holiday spirit, these traditions that we have. I hope that you are making traditions with your family and your children and grandchildren. I hope that you are, that you have those things to hold on to the older you get, and don't lose them. I'm glad that I haven't lost them. Sometimes I think, you know, my inner child is too well developed, but I'm happy with it because I do think you're only as old as you think you are. And these wonderful memories keep us young, and they keep us happy, and they keep us healthy. So many great responses from all of you on joining me and my friend Kathy at the Flosstube channel To Die House in doing our hashtag Still Fresh Fruit Sal. Yes, Still Fresh Fruit Sal. This is for all of you who are madly in love, as you rightly should be, with Modern Folk Embroideries Fruits of Plenty 2021 Stitch Along. I loved it. I knew I wasn't going to even begin it this year, but we're starting it next year as a stitch along. We're going to follow the monthly progression. We are going to use the hashtag Still Fresh Fruit Sal along with MFE 2021 Sal, so Jacob can see all of us who are still working on it and doing it and falling in love with it. I'm also doing the MFE 2022 sale, by the way. Both of them. Ordered it this weekend. But we're definitely doing the Fruits of Plenty. I'm going to show you my floss choices. Over the weekend, I was really stressed out about the fact that I hadn't chosen anything. I'm very indecisive. I will wait up, I will go right into the last minute to make decisions. It's a flaw. But I decided that I really liked the blue that the model was stitched in, that on the cover of the actual chart. But I wanted something more vibrant, and that immediately spun me onto Delft pottery from the Netherlands, which is kind of poetically perfect considering Jacob is from the Netherlands. And I loved the vibrancy of the Delft pottery, the rich blues, and all of the different shades of blue. And, piggybacking on the success of the variegation in my Christmas Quaker, I chose the variegated DMC 121. I chose 121 for the lighter areas, or the negative areas, and for the darkest color, I chose DMC 820, which is a very deep royal blue. I mentioned that to Jacob, and he was like, the variegation is really strong in that, and you might want to, think about that. And as we were talking, he suggested, to get the same effect, but not so vibrant, to mix one strand of the heavily variegated DMC 121 and one strand of another color. So I went to the wonderful site, Lord Lebidian, who has, I don't know anything about who does that other than it's wonderful. And they have I guess it's a he, I don't know who it is, but they have a breakdown of the colors that compose a variegated DMC floss. So I went and I found the 121 and I chose the lightest of that variegation. Do you hear the rain? Anyway, I chose the lightest of that variegation. So I'm going to be mixing the strongly variegated 121 with one strand of 157 to create the negative space pattern that's part of Fruits of Plenty. And I'm very excited about it. It's going to be done on an antique white even weave. I think that will completely evoke Delft pottery. I'm so excited about it. And I can't wait to see how it works up and to share it with all of you. I can just ramble on about these things. I'm so sorry, you guys. But I'm very excited, and I hope that you were choosing your fibers. I hope that you were choosing your fabrics, and I hope that if you were going to join us, whether you started it this year and got behind or you're starting it anew, we'll begin on January 1st. I will put my first stitch into it. Oh, that might be a fun time to stream. A New Year's Day stream. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, that's a plan. I just remembered another amazing Christmas memory that I had, and I hope that some of you either know of this or can relate to it. It was a thing during a certain period of time. Again, just to reiterate, my Uncle Jimmy and my Aunt Lou and my cousins lived in Birmingham, Alabama, which was about 2 hours away from my hometown in Sulligent, Alabama. And one year towards Christmas time, I think we spent with them instead of them coming to us. And I had never experienced a mall before. And there used to be, in some of the larger department stores, they would, and this was in the late 60s and early 70s. This was when I was very little, so it had to be in the early 70s. But boy, I remember it because it made an impression. They would create these walk-through attractions during the holidays. And that was all leading up to getting to Santa Claus so that you could sit on Santa Claus's lap, which I never did. Oh no, that I was one of those children. It freaked me out, but the journey was fun. Because you would walk through this, and you know, I'm remembering it as the 6-year-old. To me now, it would probably take, you know, takes 3 minutes to walk through and whatever. But, you know, they were like moving penguins and elves and reindeer and snowmen. It was kind of like a mini Disney World attraction or Disneyland attraction. And you would walk through it. And it was in these larger department stores like Parisians or Pizitz or something like that. And do you remember those things? Those things that I'm not hallucinating. I know it was there. But my Aunt Lou, she took all of us one day to that, and we walked through it, and I remember it, and it was so amazing because I had literally never seen anything like it. It was just fantastic. I remember more of it. It was a long time ago, so it's fuzzy, the particulars, but I do remember those penguins moving and snowmen and elves, and then of course you got to Santa, and that's where we took a left turn because none of my cousins wanted to do that either. So it was great. A holiday walkthrough in Pizitz. Was it Pizitz? Maybe. I don't remember. So much fun. This week in Happy Mail, again, I'm just always so blown away by your kindness and your generosity. My dear friend Marianne sent me a lovely package of charts and supplies to use for giveaways, an adorable card, and even a few little wrapped things for me that are under my tree and I will open on Christmas. So thank you so much, Marianne. I appreciate your friendship so much. You're such a dear, and I really do. I'm so grateful. Also, one of my viewers from the UK, I just, again, overwhelmed, warned me that this was coming, but she sent me, Louisa, thank you so much for my Modern Folk Embroidery Merry Christmas chart. I'm sorry, Red Berries is the name of this. And the Leo and Roxy flosses, fibers to go with it. This will be my Christmas start, and I will work on this on the 25th day of every month next year. I'm going to do that too. The 25, you know how people work on holiday things on the 25th of the month. This is going to be it. I'm finally getting to the point where I can do all these things. It's really exciting. But Louisa, thank you so much. I love this chart so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I have, I received a Christmas card from Pam and Steph, which blew my mind. That was very exciting. And more of you have said that there are little things coming, and I will do probably a huge list of thank yous when I return on the first of the year. But I just want to take this moment right now to tell you how sometimes I receive these things and I don't feel as if I deserve them. I have this imposter syndrome, but I just want you to know that I hope that my gift to you is just being able to spend time with you here on these videos. I enjoy it so much. I am the one. It's an embarrassment of riches. So thank you for your support throughout this year on this new journey for me. Thank you for, greeting me with open arms and helping me thrive. And thank you for co-creating this neighborhood with me. It is amazing. You are all amazing. And I'm so grateful that we have this. I really, really am, in all its shapes and forms and fashions. The variety of the people who provide the content, the variety of you who watch from all over the world. It's really remarkable. On the live stream on Saturday, there were like 8 or 9 countries represented. Countries. It's amazing. And all because of fabric and floss and a needle making X's. So it's pretty great. Thank you. I wanted some variety in the lights, so I changed the, you know, I could really look more. That's kind of neat. That's, when you know one would be out of whack. And see, now that one goes up. That just drives me crazy. That's the OCD. Oh, look, there we go. Okay, so moving right along to this week's giveaways. I'm very excited because this week's giveaways are being provided by, well, not provided by, but my dear friend Rochelle in Medford, Oregon at the Cottage Needle on Etsy. I think she has a brick and mortar LNS too. In fact, I said that she did, and I hope she actually does. I think she does, but I know she has the Etsy store. Rochelle will send things out for me from time to time, and this week she is going to do just that. I have two amazing charts to give away this weekend. The first is Imaginating's Oh Christmas Tree Santa. This keyword was Santa, and the winner of the Oh Christmas Tree Santa is Mel Patton. Congratulations, Mel. Please send me your address. Be okay with me passing that along to the dear people at the Cottage Needle, and I will forward that along, and that will be out to you very, very soon. The second giveaway this week was Bobby G Designs Gnome Noel. Adorable, just adorable, this chart. Gnome Noel. Of course, the keyword for this was gnome. And the winner of this particular chart is Christine Crowell. Christine, a new viewer actually, Christine Crowell. I was tickled when this came up on the YouTube random comment picker because I had just responded to Christine's comment not too terribly long ago. She came over from a couple of other Flosstubers, and we're so happy to have you here in the neighborhood, Christine, and congratulations, you won a giveaway right off the bat. So if you will email me, my email is in the show notes below. If you would email me, and you are fine with me passing your address along to Rochelle at the Cottage Needle, we'll get that out to you very quickly. Now, we're not going to have a giveaway this week because, of course, as you know, next week I have a very special Flosstube episode for you that I'm working on now. It's not going to be, I'm not going to record it live, but you'll see what it is next week. And then the following week, I'm taking a break. I'm going to take that week off, the week between Christmas and New Year, unless I do a stream on New Year's, which now sounds like a fun thing. But anyway, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But I won't be doing a giveaway because it won't, you know, we're all in the thick of the holidays now. So those will resume in full force in 2022. So congratulations to the winners. Congratulations to all of you who won this past year. And we'll have some more fun ones coming up next year for sure. So that's today's video. I think I've said it a million times today and throughout the past few weeks. I'm so thankful for all of you. I'm so grateful for all of you. And I hope that you have a wonderful holiday and many, many good memories and new traditions. And I hope that you have an amazing, prosperous, and healthy, happy 2022. Take care. Much love to you all. And until next time, bye-bye.